Afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm Christos Xenophontos. I'm the chair of AASHTO's Committee on Performance-Based Management. The TPM Pooled Fund is pleased to sponsor this webinar series on transportation performance management with the support of AASHTO and FHWA. Today marks our 14th bi-monthly webinar, something that wouldn't have been possible without the support of the leadership of AASHTO's Committee on Performance-Based Management, FHWA's Office of Performance Management, and of course, Matt Harty from AASHTO and SpyPod Partners, who has been helping us in the organization of these webinars. Sharing knowledge and building capacity are critical aspects of the TPM Pooled Fund. The purpose of the webinar series is to support the broad TPM community by sharing lessons learned, ideas, and knowledge with the transportation performance management community. As Matt keeps reminding me, so it's embedded in my head, sharing is caring, and you know we care very much about performance management. Just as a reminder, the TPM Pooled Fund is transitioning to a technical service program at the end of the year under AASHTO. We invite state DOT attendees to encourage your agencies to sign up for the TSP so we can continue to bring you engaging webinars and other capacity building resources in the future. If you have any questions or need additional information on the TSP and how to be a member of the TSP, please contact Matt Harty directly. Today's topic comes out of our Subcommittee on Organizational Management, and it is more than just asphalt, concrete, and steel, innovations from our people that are moving our transportation system forward. This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, as it is in striving for excellence that state transportation agencies are truly creating public value. In everything that we do as a Committee on Performance-Based Management and as public stewards, we strive for organizational excellence. It is the foundation upon which we establish both the parent committee and the Subcommittee on Organizational Management. Next slide, Lori, please. Just to go over the agenda for today, first up today, Matt Harty will present a brief introduction from AASHTO, and we're gonna follow that with the new chair of our Subcommittee on Organizational Management, Gary Vansuch from Colorado DOT, and Gary will provide his vision and direction for the subcommittee. I hope that after you hear from Gary, you'll be willing to sign up as a member of the subcommittee. Gary is also looking for a vice chair for the subcommittee. If you are passionate about organizational excellence and you are interested in being part of the leadership team of the Committee on Performance-Based Management, please reach out to either Gary, Matt, or myself and let us know. After Gary, Lisa Pounds from the Arizona Department of Transportation will talk about the Arizona management system, which is aimed at performance management, problem solving, and positively impacting leader behaviors. Next, we have Kelly Backues from the Missouri Department of Transportation, who will talk about their innovations challenge, which has been critical in enhancing safety, improving service, and improving stability. Rounding out our presentations, Gary will provide an overview of the Transportation Lean Forum and Lean Everyday ideas, something that he's been successful at for many, many years now. At the end, we'll have time for questions and answers after our presentations, and please enter any questions you may have in the chat. Before I turn it over to Matt, just a couple of things on brief logistics. For more information on this webinar series, visit tpm-portal.com and click on TPM Webinar Series under Events in the main menu. Over there, you will find links to video and slides from today's webinar and archive content from previous webinars, which are also posted under the portal. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt and start the program.
Great, thanks, Christos. My name is Matt Harty. I'm the Program Director for Planning and Performance Management here at AASHTO. If you don't know me, I'm the liaison, the AASHTO staff liaison for the Committee on Performance-Based Management. And under the committee, we have 4 technical subcommittees dealing with the traditional hard side of things, as Christos said, asset management, risk management, and then system performance, and also organizational management that Gary and our other speakers are going to be talking about. So I think that's one of the newer areas that this committee, the Committee on Performance-Based Management, is trying to strengthen for all the other state DOTs. So within the committee, we always are inviting members to join. Each state can have one voting member and then 2 non-voting members, but that doesn't mean those are the only ones limited to join the subcommittee. So if you have somebody on your staff who is interested in organizational management for today, or any of our other sort of subcommittees, please send me an email, mhardy@ashto.org, and I can get them added to those subcommittee membership lists, the distribution list, the calendar appointments, and everything like that, so that they can participate. One of the big things that the committee has going on, just as a reminder, is that December 5th through 9th is when we have our 2022 Conference on Performance-Based Management, Planning, and Data. It's taking place in beautiful Providence, Rhode Island, and it's going to be a great agenda. We have, it's a jam-packed agenda. If I start thinking about this, we have workshops on Monday. We have some workshops on Friday. If you're one of the TPM pooled fund states, meaning you contributed to that Transportation Performance Management Pooled Fund program back in 2016-17 timeframe, we have money for you to travel to it. So if you want any information about that aspect of it, again, send me a chat in the Zoom or send me an email, and we can get you there and sort of offset some of your travel costs. But it is going to be, I think, a pretty good conference. Again, bringing together 3 different AASHTO committees: performance management, planning, and data. There's a lot of overlap among all 3 of those, with technical sessions, a new concept called Choose Your Own Conference Adventure, a whole half day of workshops, mobile workshops, on-site workshops, unconference session, and then our traditional annual committee business meetings. And the Committee on Performance-Based Management is going to have their annual business meeting on Thursday, December 8th from 1:30 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. It'll take place at the conference, but we also have a Zoom link that was sent out yesterday as a calendar appointment. If you didn't get that calendar appointment, let me know. Happy to add you to the overall list. And then finally, if you want more information about the conference, I will post it in the Zoom chat so you can kind of link directly to it. We're going to do our best to sort of share some recordings from it, some of the different sessions, and then an overall summary of it. But that's sort of a quick update from AASHTO. And with that, I'll kick off the program even more so with an introduction to the AASHTO Committee on Performance-Based Management, Organizational Management Subcommittee from Gary Vansuch. Gary is the Director of Process Improvement at the Colorado DOT, where he leads their Process Improvement Initiative. He recently assumed the role of Chair of the Organizational Subcommittee on Management. So with that, Gary, I turn it over to you.
And Matt, thank you for that very kind introduction. Welcome, everybody. We're so excited to have the Organizational Management Subcommittee sponsor the session today. More than just asphalt, concrete, and steel. We do want to tell you a little bit about the committee. We are, as Christos mentioned, we are one of 4 subcommittees in the Committee on Performance-Based Management, along with the committees on Performance Management, Asset Management, and Enterprise Risk Management. Organizational Management rounds out that 4. The mission for the overall committee is we're dedicated to providing state transportation agencies the expertise and resources to support and enhance performance and data-driven management practices and decision-making, and create a results-driven environment that will promote organizational and systems excellence. There are 4 different committees looking at that, and part of that is the Organizational Management Subcommittee. Our mission for the Organizational Management Subcommittee is to help agencies across the United States achieve organizational excellence and to advance the practice of performance excellence by identifying, analyzing, and sharing information, and to improve organizational performance at the strategic, tactical, and operational levels. All of that's just words unless we can actually work together to do that. And boy, today's webinar, we have some wonderful presentations by 2 friends of mine, a newer friend and an older friend, and I'm also going to be providing some information myself. Lisa's I'm going to introduce Lisa in a minute. She's going to be talking from the Arizona Department of Transportation on Leadership Matters, the Arizona Management System. Kelly Backues, friend for many years from the Missouri DOT, about the wonderful innovations challenge that they have there. that certainly helps their practice of organizational management. And then from here at CDOT, I'm going to talk about our Lean Everyday Ideas program at the Colorado Department of Transportation, and then our multi-state and even multi-province community of practice we call the Transportation Lean Forum. First up is Lisa. Lisa serves as the administrator of the Office of Continuous Improvement and Employee Engagement at the Arizona Department of Transportation, also known as ADOT. She manages a team that oversees employee engagement programs, as well as leading the agency in continuous improvement efforts through teaching and coaching to aid the development of each individual employee's problem-solving skill set. Now, Lisa began her career there in the Grand Canyon State in 2002, and she's worked in many different divisions since then, including the Motor Vehicles Division, Infrastructure Delivery, and Operations in the local public agency and Project Management Resource Office. I am going to unshare my screen, and I'm going to ask all of you to welcome Lisa as she discusses the Arizona Management System. Lisa, take it away.
Thank you, Gary. Let me get my screen up here. Make sure my sound is on. All right. Thank you so much for the invitation to talk about ADOT and the journey that we've been on the last 7 years. First, I want to talk about the Arizona Management System. It's really made up of 3 different categories: leader behavior, performance management, and problem solving. And AMS provides not only the tools and the principle about problem solving like standard work, 5S, PDCA, but also performance management, visual management, metrics, and critically important, leadership behaviors. Leaders are expected to set an example, listen to the people that do the work, and know where the challenges are. Gimbal walks and one-on-one coaching have become the way ADOT leaders conduct their day-to-day work. So this is a great representation of our journey over the last 7 years. It started with training our executive leaders and then phasing that through the entire agency and all the tools and resources that AMS has for us. So this is what I call the roles and responsibilities and how we kind of break things down. Our executive leaders, they model and lead and create a vision for us. Our senior management frontline supervisors, they monitor the results and the processes. And the team leaders and team members, they're the ones that are doing the improving. And after 7 years of working with our AMS tools and our Kaizen principles, this is where we are today. This is called AKA the ADOT way. It's made up of AIR, Kaizen principles, AMS, and all surrounding our true north, which is safely home. So let's break it down a little bit. So first up is AIR, and that's what we say. It's the air we breathe. It's accountability, integrity, and respect. It's our core values. This is a human-based approach to make sure that the workspace provides everyone a sense of belonging and gives everyone that safe environment to cultivate continuous improvement and problem solve. So let's talk about the Kaizen principles. First up is process and results thinking, focusing on the process and not just results. It's brings us to that sustainability for all of our continuous improvement, not just making sure that did we meet the goal, is did the process provide the employees and the staff all the tools they needed to get that result. So that's really important for us. Also, total systems thinking. I don't want to do a process improvement in my own unit or my own group that's going to negatively impact a downstream partner or a customer. So that total systems thinking is paramount to our Kaizen thinking. And lastly, we identify problems with processes and we engage people to solve the problems. This is a non-judgmental, non-blaming. We cannot solve problems if we blame people. So we blame processes and look for those gaps. All right, so I want to talk about Kaizens. Since we've been tracking our Kaizens, and Kaizens are the small improvements. As you all know, small improvements add up to big efficiencies over time. We have, as of 2022, we did 39,000 Kaizens inside the agency. That was since 2016. We did see a small dip in 2020. And that was, of course, during the COVID pandemic, and people were teleworking and we were looking for new ways to do work. My experience during that time was a terribly innovative time for everyone. We all figured out new ways to do things. So we just weren't actually documenting them. So that's why there's that dip in 2020. But at this point into our 2022 year, our 2023, we're at over 40,000 Kaizens. So this is something we're really proud of, and just a very innovative agency and constantly improving. So I'm going to show you a video that is brand new. Our communications team just finished it on a recent Kaizen one of our maintenance units came up with.
Today we're out in Nogales, Arizona. We're off of I-19 and we're doing a guardrail maintenance repair.
The panels are 180 pounds, so two guys holding the panel for 20 minutes. It's a long time, and you put a strain on your back. It's a lot of weight.
I want to be off this road as fast as possible. Not only that, but maneuvering traffic, having a lane closure.
I kind of think, how can we do it easier and safer? That's how I came up with the idea. They really like it. We can use it as a Kaizen, so they got me the material that I needed, like the tires, the jack, the welder, everything. You put the panel inside the hinges to lock it. They don't have to carry the panels anymore.
And it also has a hydraulic jack. It's got brakes on it, so it's not maneuvering around.
No, the only reason that we named it the crab because you can turn him forward, you can roll him. The top you can twist it.
Doing it the old way probably would take us about 20 minutes to install one 25-foot panel from joint to joint. Now with the crabs, it knocked it down to about 10 minutes. So the guardrail crab reduces our team's exposure to traffic. It's cut our time in half. It also cuts the inconvenience of having a lane closure and less interference with the traveling public.
At the end of the day, they don't have a back pain, they're safe.
I would suggest every maintenance department in ADOT to give it a try. I highly recommend for anyone to use it and try it out.
All right, wasn't that cool? So they mentioned something at the end of the video, and that they recommended other maintenance units to try this Kaizen. So we have a marketplace. We have a Kaizen tracker that actually tracks that's been tracking all 40,000 of our Kaizens. This year we renamed it the marketplace, meaning that this is a place where you can exchange ideas. You can exchange a Kaizen. We are really hoping to capitalize on all the 40,000 improvements that the agency's already done. Go to the marketplace. Is there a Kaizen that could be shared within your unit, within your group, within your division, or potentially enterprise-wise? So we're looking for that economy of scale and to share ideas. So that video, he talked about sharing that idea. That is exactly what our focus is this year. So our goal still is 2 Kaizens per person, but one of them being shareable. At this point, last time I looked about a week ago, we had close to 800 shareable Kaizens already in the tracker. So one other thing that this is meant to do also is to drive leader behavior. We want leaders to be going where the work's being done, to do the Gembas and one-on-one coaching. And it's in those moments that they can identify potentially shareable Kaizens and begin that networking process. Oh, and one other thing that our marketplace, our Kaizen tracker has for us is dashboards. And as we know, competition never hurts anything. So at this point, the MVD is on the leaderboard with over 1,000 Kaizens already this year. And quite honestly, they are actually the top 10 units of high performing individuals out there doing those process improvements. So congratulations to MVD. And consequently, in another group that I managed, we had Kaizen challenges every quarter. And just for bragging rights, there was always strategy to submit their Kaizens at the very last minute so they could win the bragging rights for that quarter. So competition is wonderful. Here's another video that I want to share with you, some more innovation.
These are crash barrels. They're used to slow down the impact of an accident. Typically, it takes shovels and a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of labor. It's a lot on your back, depending on how many barrels we're filling. With a full crew, can take close to a full day, a full 8-hour workday. We were discussing it in one of our morning meetings, and some of the crew says, is there a better way? And we thought about a funnel. I said, this might be a great time for a Kaizen. Looked at the materials that we had. So we built the prototype, we put it all together, the team. We went and used it the very next day. It went as smooth as we imagined it. We decided to reach out to equipment services, their weld shop, and in fact, we improved it a little more. On average, filling a sand barrel would take up to 3 crew members to fill that barrel, roughly 20 minutes. The new funnel takes 2 minutes. Now that's about a 90% reduction in time. Now I can get multiple jobs done in one day and not just crash barrels for that one day. Now I can have fence repaired, I can have guardrail repaired, I can have potholes repaired. Oh, I would love to see every yard that has a crash barrel have one. It's proven that it's safer, faster, easier. The crew loves it. So it's well worth it.
All right. And, you know, one thing that I have to say about these groups, these innovations and these continuous improvements and having employees ask, is there a better way to do something? Paramount to that is the leaders listening to them and allowing them the ability to problem solve and come up with new ways to do working. So moving on with our Arizona management system, I want to talk about performance management, leader behaviors, and problem solving. So performance management, that means that we're doing huddles. We have tiered huddles. We have metrics that are that we're meeting. We're doing business reviews and this is at the weekly and monthly and at the unit and division level. So those are really important check-ins to make sure that we're looking at our metrics, understanding where there's some potential gaps and being able to address those. Another part of performance management that has been paramount to our success is our visual management and dashboards, making all these things visual so that everyone can see them. It drives improvement. It shows us where our gaps are. So the dashboards are widely used throughout the agency. And next is leader behaviors, and through an effort to make sure that ADOT leaders understand what's expected of them, the agency has included new language in all of our recruitments, as well as our position descriptions. Additionally, this past year, ADOT has launched the leader coins. So a leader caught in the act of leading with AKA the ADOT way can be recognized for what good looks like. So then we get to the problem solving. Everywhere, everyone, every day. This is our mantra. This is our plan, do, check, act. And I do want to talk about a problem solving event that we have going on actually right now. This is a picture from just a few weeks ago. And this is the process map that you're seeing is actually our end-to-end project delivery. This is a 30,000 foot look at our delivery from planning and programming to the handoff to our operations after construction is final. The pinks Post-its that you see on there are the friction points. Those are the areas where we know there is a gap in the process. This group got together and began to talk about those problems. They prioritized some problems and broke up into 5 teams. They all voted on which ones they wanted to address first. So they are addressing them. Right now, they've gone through the process of doing Gemba walks, looking at data, going to root cause analysis, countermeasures, and implementation plans, all in just a few weeks. What's interesting about some of the problems is they seem to be coming from different spots in that process map. 3 of the 5 groups have all worked their way in a root cause manner back to some part of the scoping phase, which probably wouldn't surprise very many people. And so during that, we had those teams start to cross report out just to make sure that we were staying aligned with all 5 teams that were working, because they are working themselves back to almost the exact same point. So which has been really fascinating. So we know problem solving is contagious, and this group will not stop here. We're just going to keep addressing and improving our standard work and our process maps. And working through all of these. So very proud of this effort going on. So where does this all come circle into? It comes into our employee engagement. People that are allowed to solve problems and leaders that drive out fear, to be able to have people perform at their best and have those continuous improvements and always ask the why, that leads to positive change with our employee engagement and retention of our employees. So this is us. This is AKA the ADOT way. We lead with respect, measure performance, be okay with the red, and we release the human potential. So with that, I will turn this back to Gary and stop sharing.
Lisa, thank you. Terrific information about the Arizona management system from there in the Grand Canyon State. We have another wonderful presenter for you in just a moment. Our next speaker is another friend of mine, Kelly Backues from the Missouri DOT. They call themselves MoDOT, and she's going to be speaking about MoDOT's Innovations Challenge. Kelly's been with MoDOT for 16 years, most recently as a transportation planning specialist. And since 2018, she has been the statewide coordinator for MoDOT's Innovations Challenge program, in which employees compete while creating safety and cost saving devices and programs. One of my folks had a chance to visit the Innovations Challenge showcase. Kelly, thanks again. It's inspired us a lot. Kelly's completed training in the Professional Development Institute and Management Development Institute, and has received a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certification in 2019. She's also served as a MoDOT Wellness Ambassador from 2017 to 2021. Please join me in welcoming Kelly. Kelly, take it away.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much. Let me get my screen shared on here for everyone real quick. Okay, we will jump right in. Again, Gary, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And I want to thank everyone here for your participation today. And I'm very happy to share our program with you. I hope you take away some good information. Again, my name is Kelly Backues, and I have been the statewide coordinator for 5 years. And today I will be sharing some details about our competition, so a little history, how we got it started, also some of our implementation strategies, and have 2 videos from our showcases to share with you. So before I dive into kind of more details, I will give you a little history. So our innovation program was actually born out of an employee idea system way back in 2005. It was clunky, it was not user-friendly, it wasn't used, it didn't move us toward implementing any innovations. So after a few years of struggling with that, a team of experts formed MoDOT's first tool and equipment challenge. And we formally recognized 20 piloted maintenance and tool innovations from around the state. The first showcase was held in 2007. So in 2012, we actually expanded the program to include our whole entire organization. Now, this expansion focused our statewide efforts to improve our processes and develop new products and come up with new projects and implement innovations in our business and admin work areas. So the Tool and Equipment Challenge was then rebranded as the Innovations Challenge. So the program obviously has been refined many times, enhanced over the years, of course, but the one thing that remains consistent is the creativity and the ingenuity of our MoDOT employees statewide. Now, since the program's inception, we have had over 2,000 innovations that have been considered for going to showcase, and we've had over 800 innovations competing in our 16 showcases. Our innovations are created and built by our employees, basically from the ground up or by their minds up, basically. We have 3 categories. First is the tools and equipment category. Now, these are the handcrafted tools and equipment made with materials that employees in the sheds, they either have on hand or they can buy materials, purchase materials that are used to create an innovation from the ground up. The second category, productivity. These are employees changing processes, materials, and products. For example, developing new software that is more resourceful and it saves time and money. Third category is projects. Innovative projects. These are driven by our transportation needs throughout the state or by a management directive. For example, these are roundabouts, diverging diamond, all these wonderful, innovative transportation projects that enhance our state. Each year, our innovations are evaluated on the following criteria. We have originality. So how new is it to MoDOT? Safety. How does it improve not only our employees' safety, but also the public, Missourians, and travelers throughout the United States that come through our state? We have internal and external performances. So how much does it improve our productivity and our service to our customers and our employees? My screen keeps changing. And lastly, we have conserving resources. So how much time and money does it save? Our competition kicks off September 1st each year and deadline of the end of December. The first round winners are announced early in January. In February, a second round evaluation is conducted and our showcase attendees are announced. Each year, our showcase is held in April. So the first round narrows our competition to the top 18 in each category. Sorry, my screens are moving. Okay, so the first round narrows the competition to top 18 in each of our districts and our top 18 in central office, giving us a total of 144 first round winners. So all of these first round winners, employees, receive $75 per person, or there's a maximum of $450 per team, depends on how many are in the team. The second round involves statewide review teams who evaluate the innovations based on our criteria. And this is the spot where we determine which 60 innovations will go to showcase. The driving forces really behind this program, it's not me. I organize it, but we have some wonderful coordinators statewide. So they are the people driving this program. They're locally within their district throughout the state, and we have 3 of them in central office. They are the ones responsible for collecting submissions, and they work with a technical review team before they choose any of their first 18 winners. They do lead the effort in choosing their first 18 winners. They also evaluate all of the 144 first round winners throughout the state to help determine which will go to showcase. Now we take 20 innovations per category to showcase. Our annual 2-day showcase is held in a large expo center, which you can see in this slide. Showcase participants spend many hours working on their displays and their presentations and their pitches and speeches and all the materials to prepare themselves for the big day. So as you can see in these photos, the expo room, it resembles sort of a science fair with exhibits ranging from the tabletop demonstrations, also pulling in all these extra duty heavy trucks and snow plows. The competition judging takes place on the first day, and it's a group of judges for each category, and they listen to presentations and then they rank their top 6. Our current program bestows 16 awards. We reward the top 4 in each category, and we have 3 directors awards, one for safety, service, and stability. And we also have a coveted People's Choice Award, and it is named after Jim Dixon, who was actually the creator of the whole program way back in 2005. So we call it the Dixon People's Choice Award. All category winners receive up to $425 per person, or again, a maximum of $1,550, depending on the size of the team. The first and second place finishers in each category received $10,000 for their operating budget to be used for expense and equipment. They can use that budget money to enhance their innovation. They can use it to make more of their innovation. They can also use it to enhance their jobs, make their jobs safer. So the third and fourth place finishers also receive money into their operating budget of $1,000. The Directors Awards, they also receive incentive money and trophies. So again, the People's Choice Award is presented with a very large trophy. It has been the trophy that has traveled the state since 2007. And so it earns big bragging rights if you win the People's Choice Award. On day 2 of our showcase, we have hundreds of employees from around the state who come and attend and look around, kick tires, and talk to all the innovators. Really, really a super function, and we're very proud to do this every year. Each year I hear from the exhibitors and the attendees that the best part of the event was being able to talk with the other department employees and managers throughout the state about innovation. Now, to close out our showcase, we announced the winners at our award luncheon. Next up, I'm going to show you a video from 2018, and it's going to give you an idea of what our showcase is like.
we have today is an integrated vehicle debris removal system. We affectionately call it JAWS because unfortunately, back in 2004, we had one of our co-workers who was picking up some debris on the roadway, and she violently lost her life while trying to retrieve the debris in the lane of traffic. As a result, we came up with this truck where we call it JAWS, Julie's Automated Waste Removal System. Basically, it's a joystick inside. There's like a clamshell that drops down. We have a forward-facing camera. You can actually see the debris as you come up to it, and you can push the debris out of the road without having to put your feet on the pavement. It keeps us safe, and we only need this one truck to make it happen, whereas in years past, we would need 2 TMAs and maybe 1 or 2 other trucks to get the debris out of the road.
But the idea here is that a good idea on the floor in there is worthless unless we put it into action. So the challenge that I have for every one of you today is for those things that you saw, make sure that you take the opportunity to bring those back to where you work, and let's get those things put into place so we get the benefit out of them. That's the key. And then we can work on making them better and doing all those things that we do. But you know, the idea on the floor that stays on the floor really doesn't help us. So the challenge is take those ideas, put them into practice, and let's continue to get better, okay?
Okay, so as you just heard, our MoDOT Deputy Director, Chief Engineer, a good idea on the floor is worthless unless we put it into action. So truly, implementation is the most important step in our program. Ed said it best, you know, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be running this program if we didn't implement, because if we didn't implement, why have an innovations challenge? So since 2007, we've had innovation best practices database that houses details about innovations, but that site just was not promoting enough. People weren't hitting the site well enough, and even though we're putting it out there, putting it in front of them throughout the year, it just wasn't moving the needle. So last couple of years, we've developed a few implementation plans to put innovations into place. So our latest push is featuring an innovation each week in MoDOT's weekly news. This is a publication, it's disseminated statewide via email, but it's also displayed on all the large screens in our maintenance sheds. As you can see here, there's a photo of the innovation along with a description and its benefits and a contact information for the innovator. The QR code on the slide allows the user to go directly to a handout that we have created back when they were at Showcase, and it provides even more details about the innovation. Now, our more robust implementation approach recently is MoDOT's Innovation Store. So back in 2009, executive leadership approved funding to purchase some specific tool and equipment innovations, maintenance type innovations, so that they can be put into action statewide. So after Showcase each year, we have a best practices team that approves selected and maintenance type related tools and equipment innovations that were at our Showcase. This money, this funding is used through this app for districts to order these innovations as you see here. These were from this last year, and the list goes on and on. There's prior years in there as well. This app has been greatly successful. Districts are able to have these on their computers, on their handheld devices, and it is just amazing. And I'm not the creator, but if you're interested in learning more about that, it's actually ran through our central office maintenance division. So that's our focus, on our tool and equipment and maintenance type innovations. But more importantly, or just as important, I should say, our program delivery innovations that deliver a safe highway system. These include work zone, highway and bridge design, and construction projects. These implementation responsibilities now reside with our MoDOT Central Office divisions to push them out throughout the state to the districts. Our admin and support type innovations can be related to improving processes, increasing efficiencies. The implementation plan responsibility for these now resides with the district or the division who submitted the innovation, basically ones who created the innovation. I apologize. Computer software programs, spreadsheets, and form development and training programs type of thing. So also in the works, we have developed a measure, a performance measure, and we will be putting it in our management tool we call Tracker. So once it is developed, this measure is going to track the innovations we put into place statewide, as well as be able to drill down to the districts to hold them accountable. So we have two websites. This one, and I will share these in chat as soon as I'm finished here. But this website here will give you a deeper look into our showcase throughout the years. This is our database where we house all the prior year winners, best practices. And this next slide is actually where we house specific innovations from the last 2 years. This is a newly developed site, and actually you're going to hear a little bit about it in my next video. Again, I will share these, and I will tell you, once you go to this site, you are going to be able to pull in every single innovation. There were 60 of them that went to the last 2 years of our showcase. So excellent website, and I will get it put into chat. So before I close, we are going to take a look at one more video, and this was our 2022 showcase.
My name is Andrew Turner. I'm roadside manager with Southeast District, and the innovation we have here is our rotating herbicide rack. We needed to be able to transport our pre-mixed slurries in an upright and sealed position, but then whenever we get out to the job site, be able to quickly and easily access those. So we came up with this rack so that we don't have to handle the herbicide near as often, and it keeps it up and out of the way for us. So whenever we get to the job site, we're able to pull 2 pins, and the whole assembly will rotate down. Then we're able to easily go up and, in the same fashion as a soda machine, dispense out whatever premix herbicide to transfer over into our spray rigs.
This allowed the south intersection for that left turn movement to northbound 141 to be pushed to the north side of the interchange and to occur at the same time as the westbound Missouri 364 left turn movement to southbound 141. As part of this job, we needed to construct a retaining wall between the western abutment of the bridge over 141 and the southbound lanes of 141.
The displaced left turn lane, and that's our innovation. And basically what that does is it takes that eastbound to northbound left turn movement, it has it go, builds a new contraflow lane to go the wrong direction, if you will, up to this north intersection. And then at this intersection, both left turn movements at the interchange will happen at this north intersection. And what that does is that removes that left at the south intersection. So now the only time that northbound 141 will have to stop is when southbound to eastbound left is being made.
Innovation Showcase is an option that we have readily available to anybody to view. So MODOT has been hosting an in-person showcase for 15 years, and during COVID that wasn't an option, so we wanted to find a way to best show the innovations we've been working on. So on MODOT's external website, we have all the innovations from last year and this year out there. So that includes a video, a short write-up, and contact information. So if you see another district or division that has information that you find interesting, you're able to go out and view it. So it's easily searchable, it has all the information out there, and anybody can go view it. It's not just people who are invited to showcase. You can be from another division or DOT or an external person to come and view it. So it's easily accessible and user-friendly.
Our employee is adding oil, and you can see right there he could have spilt it all over himself, and holding it up over your head is really not safe either. You can't tell how much oil is in there, and it's really tough straining, reaching up trying to clean the windshield. He can really only get a little bit of it, and without climbing up on the tire, have a hard time reaching it. So we come up with this tire steps. Snug it on the tire, has a railing right there you can use for 3 points contact, climb up, and you can also climb up on the tire too. Right there, the oil can is eye level, so he can see and make sure it's level and see how much oil is in there. He's also able to reach the middle of the windshield to clean it.
Okay, so in closing, and this is something I recognize Lisa said in her presentation as well, the success of our innovation program is very simple. We must first engage and inspire and drive our employees to think about innovation, to think outside the box. We have to allow them to be creative, encourage them to enter our competition. That's something we kind of get that push in at the end of the year, and it's amazing how many you get on December 20th. But always keep it out in front of them. Don't let it die down. Don't let it only occur between kickoff and December and then talk about it again in April. Have to keep this out in front of them throughout the year. But it's also important to reward their efforts. Attaboys are always more than what you really think that they are. And of course, the incentives we provide, but got to reward them for their work that happens all year round. They're out of the box thinking. Also crucial is support from a leadership. And luckily, we have a team of leaders who are dedicated to innovation. They wholeheartedly support this program. They are always, there's always innovation in every speech and in every meeting. It comes up, innovation, push it out. So they are dedicated unlike any other. And this program I run would be nothing without their support. So if you would like to have more information, my contact information is on the screen, and I can put this in chat as well. I do have a lot of program materials that I can share with you. And if you want to have a one-on-one meeting, perfectly fine. I can share more information with you. So again, thank you very much for your interest, and I will take questions later.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm always inspired when I hear you speak.
Thank you.
I am. My name's Gary Vansuch. I'm officially Director of Process Improvement at the Colorado Department of Transportation. Unofficially, I am the most fortunate person on the planet. I have a wonderful wife and we're in our 44th year of marriage. I have wonderful grown children who are making great contributions in science and education. I have the very best team anywhere, the best job anywhere. And I get the opportunity, I've had the opportunity over the past decade to work with folks like Kelly and new friends like Lisa as we evolve our practice of innovation improvement at CDOT. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, focusing on lean everyday ideas at CDOT, and then wrapping up a bit before we have questions and answers with the Transportation Lean Forum. So a little bit about Lean Everyday Ideas at CDOT. First of all, CDOT, like many of your transportation agencies, we plan, build, operate, and maintain a transportation system. And in our case, it's the Colorado Transportation System. And you see some of the photos of our wonderful Centennial State. CDOT's have 3,000 Coloradans. Now, we're asphalt and concrete and steel too, but the start of the webinar was we're all much more than asphalt and concrete and steel. We have 3,000 Coloradans at over 200 different staff locations, planning, building, operating, maintaining the Colorado transportation system across the 104,000 square miles of Colorado. These are the people that drive our innovation and improvement success. And we have a few things that are also helping us. One of those things is the Colorado Smart Government Act. I'm glad that we have smart government as opposed to the antithesis of that. SMART stands for the State Measurement for Accountable, Responsible, and Transparent Government Act of 2010. Among other things, it requires, encourages, and on behalf of the citizens of Colorado requires state agencies to incorporate lean continuous improvement to increase government efficiency. And I love that because it actually builds upon our multi-generational values at CDOT. We have 6 values: safety, people, integrity, customer service, excellence, and respect. The excellence value is the essence of our improvement and innovation efforts at CDOT. We are leaders and problem solvers, continuously improving our products and services. I've talked to people at CDOT who've been at CDOT 40 years. They remember these values when they came in. This is multi-generational efforts to improve CDOT. And of course, we take our inspiration from lots of places. I love what Admiral Dr. Grace Hopper said. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, "We've always done it that way." Our Colorado Smart Government Act says we need to do things differently and better. Our CDOT values, particularly our excellence value, says we need to do things differently and better. And of course, you've heard from ADOT and from MoDOT about how they're doing things differently. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing here at CDOT. At CDOT, we kicked off what I call the first decade of innovation and improvement in late 2011. And we're working to engage everybody in improving our business and helping ensure that each and every person can be successful with each and every change. We don't do that by edict. We do that by engaging people, and you see some of the wonderful people that have been helping us do that over the past decade. Our flagship for that is Lean Everyday Ideas, where we're working to foster a culture of improvement where new ideas are valued and tested and implemented and shared by engaging everybody in improving our business. And you see that same map that I was showing before, that's a map of where we have people on Team CDOT. Every place there's a yellow dot, someplace that's somebody across CDOT that is helping plan, build, operate, and maintain our transportation system for our fellow citizens and for everybody who benefits from the Colorado transportation system. Well, why that? Why not just say, Mr. and Ms. Manager, you fix things that are problems? Well, guess what? Management, even under the best of circumstances, only sees some of the problems, and particularly when you have people at 200 different staff locations across Colorado. The frontline sees problems, the frontline knows that they're problems, and we've been working to engage everybody to fix something that bugs them. And that's the essence of Lean Everyday Ideas. We have people that are fixing issues, just like you've heard from ADOT, just like you've heard from MoDOT on a daily basis. When they fix something, we ask them to go to our website. It is cell phone friendly, and to put that in the iFixit channel that we've got on our Lean Everyday Ideas website. And the QR code, we have QR codes scattered throughout the presentation here. That allows folks to do that from their cell phone or to use the link that we provide them. Let us know about your innovation so that we can actually help spread across the state. Sometimes people run into issues where they don't have a solution, but they have a problem. That's where we ask them to use the I Suggest channel. Tell us about your problem. You may have a suggestion for solving it that you can't implement yourself, and we'll work to do something about that. And here's what we do. If we have something coming in through the iFixit channel, somebody that's fixed something, they submit their idea either on their computer, on their cell phone, call us up, and then we go through a vetting process. Let's make sure that it's safe for our employees. Let's make sure that that implementation is safe for everybody that uses our Colorado transportation system. And then we put it into a database. We developed what we call an idea card so that we can spread that across the state. For suggestions, we ask people to put their suggestions into the I Suggest channel. We do the same kind of vetting, but we also then find an expert across CDOT that can actually pair with that person that has the suggestion and work to implement that suggestion to improve our operations. Our idea cards look like this. They'll often be a photo or a video, some kind of challenge that somebody was taking on, some kind of problem, what the innovation was they developed. Very often it needs some parts or something like that. We have a lot of folks that are developing innovative equipment and innovative solutions to problems. And then benefits. On a card, you can actually see what the innovation was, and there's always a place to click through for more information about that. That information is actually on our external codot.gov webpage, our Innovation Improvement and Engagement Hub for CDOT. We have 381 cards identified so far, and we're adding to them every week, where people can, where we can highlight what people have innovated. It's great recognition for those folks. Plus, we can help spread that across CDOT and actually across other departments of transportation and ministries of transportation in Canada. And it's a searchable database. You can search by date, you can search by some kind of keyword, you can search by some kind of category. For instance, if you put in the word guardrail, you'll end up with a couple of dozen innovations on different parts of either fixing guardrail, pulling guardrail, protecting guardrail that our CDOT innovators have developed and that we're working to spread across the Centennial State. Here's some examples from that database. We had our aeronautics division working on excise tax. Their operation is funded by excise tax. They provide excise tax proceeds to various airports in Colorado. That process, the before process, is shown on the left. And they said, gosh, we ought to be able to do better than that. They got down that process to a two-step process, making it much faster and much easier to get that money to our airports across Colorado. Guardrail safety. Guardrail's tough, as all of us know. This is actually an innovation developed in Region 3, which is Northwest Colorado. Development of a carrier lift to improve safety and decrease the time of installation of guardrail. Another innovation from our engineering group is what we call our earthwork tool. It helps capture best practices in pre-construction engineering. And we sometimes find that videos are helpful on that too. So we have a series that we call Sharing Innovation Success in Engineering and Construction, where we have videos on our website where we talk to the innovators. What made you take on this issue? How did you develop it? What are the benefits? We believe that helps replication of ideas. Plus, we believe it also helps inspire other people to take on other issues, to tackle them, and to successfully improve them. And no idea is too small. This is something coming out of one of our maintenance crews to make mower safety better. Well, we do a lot of mowing across Colorado. We've been able to spread this across the state and make this particular operation much safer across the state, thanks to the efforts of this person from our Colorado Southeast region. And by the way, we've had some success on spreading ideas across the state. One of our first innovations in the first decade of innovation and improvement back in 2013 was what we called our hydraulic fluid holding box. This was a place where people, where we take hydraulic fluid lines, we put them into a box so that the hydraulic fluid drains into the box as opposed onto the ground, or that people would say they would be wearing on their uniforms hydraulic fluid because it's so difficult to handle. It was developed in one of our patrols. In 2014, it had been replicated 280 times, and much more now in 2022. If you want to borrow any of these, use the QR code, search. We're glad to have you borrow innovations from CDOT. And as we enter our second decade of innovation and improvement at CDOT in 2022, we've actually added an innovations challenge. Now, you just heard that term from Kelly. We borrowed the concept and the name from MoDOT, where we have essentially a playoff system, a friendly internal competition, where we have our different regions and our headquartered divisions in a competition to find the best of the best innovations. And in fact, earlier this week, we named the winners in both the statewide judging category by a panel of experts, as well as in the People's Choice Award. Yes, we borrowed that from MoDOT also. Thank you, Kelly. I'm very fortunate to be able to learn from other folks and to be able to evolve our own efforts. And the QR code there will take you to the video that highlights our 12 finalists and names the winners. Additionally, we're very honored to have been included, to have Lean Everyday Ideas included in a recently published book, Practical Innovation in Government, by Dr. Alan Robinson and Dr. Dean Schroeder. There's a QR code that takes you to a summary of that book. We're pleased to be able to help other folks by having our program highlighted in a book like this. And we encourage you to borrow everything that we've got in terms of innovation at CDOT, including our structure, which is discussed in that book. And that leads me to the Transportation Lean Forum. I mentioned that we've borrowed things from CDOT across the years, and part of that has been through the outreach on a community of practice that we call the Transportation Lean Forum. Of course, we take our inspiration from lots of different places. We love what Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. With that in mind, that's exactly what Transportation Lean Forum is. It's a community. It's our mission for Transportation Lean Forum is to provide a community for transportation agencies to share and support each other regarding lean and continuous improvement. We started that a decade ago in June 2012 with 3 DOTs, Colorado, Tennessee, and Maine. It's now expanded to 30 DOTs across the nation, several ministries of transportation across the border into Canada, and also similar organizations in England, the Netherlands, and Sweden. There are various aspects to the Transportation Lean Forum. There's the Lean Interchange website, which documents a lot of things, different practices from different states. There are folders from all the states that in the United States that are part of the forum, and folders from the ministries in Canada, where they put information about their own implementation of lean and continuous improvement, and people that can borrow that from any place in the world to help enhance their own programs. There's a Transportation Lean Forum newsletter every month. We highlight the news of the month, webinars, announcements, occasionally success stories. There's a QR code there that takes you to prior issues of that. And I'm always glad to, I'm currently the managing editor. I'm always glad to take stories to include in that Transportation Lean Forum newsletter. There is a YouTube channel with archives of our prior webinars. We have every other month webinars. Those every other month webinars are on our Transportation Lean Forum. The next webinar, by the way, is Wednesday, November 30th. That webinar will feature the Arizona Management System. Lisa talked some about the implementation of that system at the Arizona Department of Transportation. All of Arizona state government utilizes that. And Vinny Labella, who I believe is on the call today, is going to be discussing that during that November 30th session. We also have a wonderful presentation about innovation at the Utah Department of Transportation by Patrick Calley. I believe Patrick is on our webinar today too. And then we're going to be talking about the AASHTO Committee for Performance-Based Management, Organizational Management Subcommittee. I'll be leading that discussion. The host is somebody you've already heard from today. The host for that session on November 30th is Lisa Pounds from ADOT. The Transportation Lean Forum has been around for 10 years. We're into our second decade of the Transportation Lean Forum. During that second decade, Transportation Lean Forum and the Organizational Management Subcommittee are going to be partnering together to broaden the base and to provide even more services to everyone. And that's because we want to use everybody's brains. I love what President Woodrow Wilson said. I use not only all the brains that I have, but all that I can borrow. I know at CDOT we borrowed from a lot of different brains across a lot of different departments of transportation. Thank you for that. And I encourage you, if you want to be part of Transportation Lean Forum and the Organizational Management Subcommittee, drop me a note. Dave from, my good friend David from Iowa Department of Transportation's already dropped a note into the chat pane. Thank you, Dave. And anybody else, let me know either in the chat pane or through email. I thank you all. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'm going to turn it back to Matt Hardy.
Great, thanks, Gary. Thanks. Whoa, where everything goes. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Kelly. That was great. So there are a number of questions that were asked by people. And Jesse Rubin says, I'm sorry that I sound like a broken record, but so she has 2 questions for both Gary, for Kelly, and for Lisa. I'm not sure if y'all saw those in the chat, but the first one is, are all the employees within your agency trained in lean? And then also, I guess that's the first one. So Lisa, Kelly, Gary, go in the order that we presented.
Yeah, you
sure.
bet. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Lisa, go ahead. I'm jumping out of order. I just get so enthused about this, but I'm last. Lisa, you go first.
So the short answer is yes. That phased implementation that we did over the 7 years, that was training the executive leaders, the down to the middle managers, and then those managers actually trained the frontline staff. We've also implemented training into many of our programs for our new employees. So it is a multi-pronged approach to make sure that everybody understands what the expectations are for and the tools that are available. Additionally, I think you can also see that sustainability start to come out when it is just becomes the way we do business, and that's you know, in the language that we use, Kaizens, and people understanding that they go to huddles every week, and in some cases every day. So those are just some of the things that, but we do train at all levels.
Okay, so at MoDOT, we have, you know, I don't have the exact number, but years ago, whenever I got my green belt, there were certain areas of MoDOT that we trained people to therefore be able to facilitate and bring it out. There wasn't a all MoDOT staff. However, in the last 5 years, there's an operational excellence program through the state of Missouri that is for all 16 agencies in Missouri. And they have developed white and yellow belt training for all 50,000 employees. Whoever, anybody can go in and do this. And this is just, I think, as of pretty recent, but I think through November of last year, I think there's about 10,000 team members completed white belt. So that's really all I know about that. There are only, I want to say maybe 30. That's totally a guess for me. That's how many went through with me whenever I did it in MoDOT.
And it's we feature Lean Everyday Ideas during our new employee orientation. And we've done that for many years. Now, if you miss new employee orientation, you may not get it. And we're asking everybody to fix something that bugs them. Now, sometimes that's small stuff. If there's something bigger, gosh, there's more, there's more training that, folks could benefit from, and not everybody's going to get that. So we're trying to get, just the right amount of training to the right people at the right time. And it's had some success doing that.
Great, thanks for that. The next question I think that Lisa asked, but I think is more also applicable to both Gary and Kelly is, so for the Kaizens and I guess those innovations, how do you, I guess for Arizona, for you, Lisa, how do you get people to submit to the library and kind of look for them there? But I think for Kelly and for Gary, I know Kelly, you had a lot of innovations, and maybe there is that incentive, associated with it, the financial incentive, and same thing in sort of, Colorado. But how do you get the employees that sort of, I don't know, take it seriously, or actually, submit something and do something with it?
For Arizona, it's I can say that we've always set goals, and everybody, we keep that in front and center, and that's in our leaders meeting and supervisor meetings, just to make sure that we are meeting goals. But also, I think what it also does is we creating the competition, making it visual, all the different Kaizens that are going on, that always spurs others to continue to innovate. It was also making sure that the leaders, the supervisors, the managers are during one-on-one coaching to talk to the employee about, did you know that was a Kaizen? That standard work that you just updated, you found a better way of doing it, that's a Kaizen. Can you submit it? So it was organic with that goal-orient, angle to it.
Okay.
Yeah, there aren't financial incentives at CDOT. Our innovations challenge, where we're giving some tokens. And for instance, a sign that says I'm a winner. But other than that, there aren't those kind of incentives. I do like Lisa's thought about making things visible and taking advantage of kind of this natural, friendly internal competition that we've got. So we do everything we can to publicize innovations, promote that we promote the people that are actually making those innovations happen. First of all, it's great recognition for those folks. It's just part of our principles and our values here at CDOT. But we also find that helps spur other folks to say, well, I've got something just as good as that guy did. I just didn't put it into the database yet. We're finding that that's a pretty handy thing for us here at CDOT.
So for us, and I apologize, I was kind of over here taking some notes, so make sure I would give you all the information. Mainly, our program is keep it simple. We don't make it hard to enter the competition. I still receive paper forms written in pencil, drawings, on the back of the form, hand drawings. It's just, we have to keep it simple, or we can't cater to either, administrative and people that have a desk job, or people in the field. It's got to be both. And so we make that process very easy to enter. As far as keeping it in front of them all year is really key. It cannot die, it cannot be there just between September and April. So what we've pushed out with our weekly news in my slide earlier shows them something every week from the latest showcase. Our chief engineer is so passionate about it. He just keeps it in all talking points, basically. We had a meeting earlier today. There's a S&T meeting today. And so he just always brings up the innovations in every conversation. Also, those dedicated funds that we have set aside that started in 2019, those employees in the sheds are able to look at the innovations and they can order it. Now, we don't have every single one in there. There's, some of them can be handcrafted for free, but for innovations that need to be pushed out, we make it very easy all year round, and making sure everybody gets what they need out there. But I will say too, the excellent coordinators. There's 3 in central office. We have 1 in each district, and without them, I would be nothing. There's no way I can keep up with all of the knowledge that they have. We have some area engineers. We also have some that, are office staff, but they are passionate about it and they are talking to their district, year round as well.
Great. So Kelly, so you mentioned, I think, Ed Hassinger as the chief engineer, or as very passionate about this. So have you had any challenges or recommendations in terms of sustaining the improvement, or these, the challenges, the innovations and everything, as administrations change, as you get new secretaries or directors or whatever you might call them in your different states? Have you had challenges with that, or has it not really been a problem?
No, we have honestly not had any problems. This program was built from, in my history here, roots up. It started out as an idea. Hey, throw your ideas out here. But like I said, that wasn't getting anywhere. There were no really in-depth safety reviews. And now that we've made this a piloted innovation program, It's just taking off. Like every year we have 60 innovations in an expo center. There were, some times where maybe there weren't as many entries. We went through some hard times where there was no money, so we had no projects. But we just haven't. I'm only the second person who has ever ran the program. The man who developed the program ran it for 2007 to 2018. So he just was on it. And so therefore I took it over and I'm running it like he did. So, but we've had no management pushback, and we have had probably 4 MoDOT directors since then, and it's always been a passion.
Okay. And Gary or Lisa, any thoughts?
Well, Matt, I think the same thing's true here in Colorado. We've had change of administration and executive directors for sure, and good support. And from Transportation Lean Forum, it's 30 states, a number of provinces in Canada, a few folks in Europe. I know in the Transportation Lean Forum, we have states that are, have governors from one party or the other. In Canada, provinces that have, premiers that are in, the Conservative Party, other ones that are premiers in the Liberal Party. And we're finding there's good support across the board. This seems to be an apolitical kind of thing that, politics doesn't play into it. There's good support for improvement and innovation and from what I've been able to see from those states and provinces in the Transportation Lean Forum also. Lisa, thoughts from Arizona?
We have been lucky to have the same director for many years, and who is a huge champion of innovations. And the way I see it is that this is just a better way for government to work. And so, as Gary said, I don't think it falls into those, whether we're going to do that in the future through change. So I think innovation is always good for everyone.
Yeah. So the last, this is more of a personal question for me, not one that came from the audience, but if people have questions, please put them in the chat. But I saw the almost like inventions, right? That you were showing, Lisa and Kelly and everything. I'm like, have y'all thought about trying to commercialize, patent, or license any of those innovations in any way? Because I see some patents perhaps there, or a company wanting to come in and commercialize that step ladder for the wheel kind of thing, or the lift for the guardrail. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool,
Right. Yes, we actually, some of our items have been patented, and we are now kind of getting ready to start a big push on it again. We actually have a meeting set up with our CCO, our Chief Counsel Office. Another coordinator and I are going to meet with them about, hey, how easy can we, we need to get this done, and how can we make it easy for everybody? So just in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be meeting with her, and it's going to be a push. We're going to push harder on it starting now, but we do have some that have been patented in the past.
Cool.
For me, I am not aware that ADOT has looked for any patent opportunities for that. Just, I'm not aware of it. Not saying it hasn't happened, but not aware of it.
Okay.
Good idea, though.
Here at CDOT, we've actually had some patent folks in to talk to our innovators. We were actually fortunate to have one of the few offices of the the U.S. Patent Office here in Denver, and so we've had some webinars on that. And there's always nuts and bolts. They start off saying, "Boy, patenting is not easy. It takes a lot of effort." I'm not aware of any patents so far, but we're not opposed to it at CDOT. We do leave that up to the innovators. Again, it's daunting enough that I don't think any of them have taken up any of the trying to do that.
It requires a good patent attorney. From my previous days, different company where they did patents and stuff like that. It requires a good patent attorney to kind of get those things written up and submitted. But yeah, but there were some there were pretty cool ideas as an engineer. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So one last question that we got in the chat from Valerie is, I guess for your agencies talking about lean training, is it outsourced to an external vendor, or do members of your agency provide that training to other employees? I guess kind of like train the trainer type stuff.
Yeah, at
Ours-
CDOT,
Oh,
at
go ahead.
CDOT, it's not outsourced. We do partner with some other agencies within Colorado to share resources on training, but we don't outsource.
Ours
Kelly?
comes from the state Office of Administration, so it's kind of the lead of all 16, departments within the state. So that's who did our training on our end.
Okay. Lisa?
And initially, ADOT did use a vendor to jumpstart the process and guide us through that training. ADOT is doing the training at this point, though.
Okay. Well, I think that leads us to the end here. So if you have any other, if people in the audience have any other questions, all of this information, the slide deck, the recording and everything, to be able to capture people's emails will be available at the TPM portal. Lori did post the direct link in the chat there. So please, tpm-portal.com. This is a partnership between AASHTO and FHWA, these every other month webinars. So if you have any ideas for topics and everything for 2023, we would love to hear what they are. I'll be in Providence, Rhode Island, the 5th to the 9th of December. If you want to talk to me about that, or you can send me an email, mhardy@ashto.org, and we'll kind of add that to our hopper. And again, a big thanks to Lisa, to Kelly, to Gary for participating today and sharing the great things that your agencies are doing. It was eye-opening for me. I was like, that's pretty cool stuff going on. So hopefully spread the word to other states about what is happening. So again, I know we're all busy. Y'all are very busy. So thank you very much for taking the time out of your schedule. Also want to thank the TPM Pooled Fund lead, which is one way we are funding this, which is Christos Xenophontos and the Pooled Fund members. Don't forget, the Pooled Fund is transitioning to a technical service program, which is open to, again, all the state DOTs. It's an AASHTO technical service program. Makes things a little bit easier to kind of sign up for it. So if your state DOT is interested in signing up for it, let me know. I can get you more information. And that's how we can sustain financially these types of webinars. And with that, thank you very much. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I think this is the last TPM webinar for this year. We have another TAM asset management one scheduled for December on asset management topic. But with that, I'll close us out and we'll see each other hopefully in Providence. If not, on a webinar or at TRB or some other time. So thanks a lot. Bye.